lesson once and you'll never be the same. There, Uri and Tyler, and they're here to entertain. It's the Bantam Boys podcast with Uri and Tyler. Yeah.
I could hear the fireworks. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I didn't do anything for New Year's. I wasn't booked on a show, and that didn't feel good, but I wasn't going to go. I just didn't. There was nothing I felt like going to do. I just got back from traveling.
Yeah.
So this sounds like it was a bummer. I sound like a real loser out the gate. I am the beta male of this podcast. What was your New Year's like, Tyler?
Well, me and a couple of other alphas. We went to Times Square and we knocked the ball over before it was dropped.
Yeah, you fucked the ball. You stuck your dick in the.
I was gonna say we goaltended it like in basketball.
You shoved it up
we just
your
held
ass.
it up.
You took the Times Square ball before it dropped. You dropped it into your asshole. That's what you did.
Just drop it. It's larger than us. I'm pretty sure, right?
No,
it's larger than human size, right?
Doesn't mean it can't fit in my ass.
It does. That's what that means. I know you're not a geometry guy, but that is an object that is larger than another object can't go into.
So, did you put anything in your ass on New Year's Eve?
Fifth Amendment, man.
You put the Constitution in your ass?
I didn't put it in my ass. I found it there. It was just, I don't know how it got there. I woke up, I itched, and then there was the Constitution. And also, it was the Magna Carta.
National treasure.
National treasure. Nicolas Cage was banging on my apartment door.
Now,
let me in.
That's a good Nicolas Cage.
I can only do accents in very short bursts. Only do voices that are like 2 words.
Who do you want me to do? Give me an actor to do.
Oh man, what's a good act? Give me your Kiefer Sutherland.
From 24?
Yeah.
I've not seen a single minute of that show. So I'm just gonna say this. Give us the bomb! Where's the bomb? That's what that show was, right?
That's what that show was. Give us the bomb. Give me the bomb.
That's all I know. No, give me an actor that has a distinctive voice that I know, not some fucking loser from TV.
Can you do Brad Pitt?
Well, that all depends.
On what? Was that the Brad Pitt?
I'm trying to think of a good Brad Pitt line. Anybody kills anybody, that's called manslaughter. It's a crime. That's from yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Kato. I've
got my Brad Pitt. He's like, we don't have enough money to make this baseball team win. How are we gonna get the A's to a championship if we don't have the money? Jonah Hill.
I don't think Mr. Barry listens to me very much. That's my Jonah Hill from that movie.
Oh, Brad Pitt, we gotta use statistics.
That's good.
Brad Pitt.
Now, listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen here. We hired you to the Texas Rangers, Mr. Brad Pitt. So, hold on. In this sketch, let me just get this clear. I'm W, and I own the Rangers. You are Brad Pitt with the voice of Richard Nixon.
No, Jonah Hill has the voice of Richard Nixon. I'm Brad Pitt. It's me, Brad Pitt. Every time an angel wings, every time a bell rings.
It's time for It's time for the Rangers to win a World Series. Now, you fooled me once. Shame on you. Fool me. Once you get fooled, you can't get fooled again.
Won't get fooled again. My Brad Pitt also loves The Who. But only brings it up in like little, he hears something from a Who song and he's like, won't get fooled again.
Pinball wizard.
There's gotta be a twist.
Welcome to the Bantam Boys, everybody.
Where there's no rule that says a dog can't play pinball.
There's no rule that says we can't spend the first 20 minutes of our podcast doing dumb voices.
I mean, and then the next half of the podcast with our own dumb voices.
I might ask you to do that Nixon again.
Okay.
When the time is right.
When
I will cue you. I will cue you to do Nixon.
I will call you back in to retire out of retirement.
Today we're talking about now. What would you say? How would you call this sport?
Wood sports.
Wood sports. See,
well, I do know what you're talking. We're talking about the lumberjack games or timber sports.
Timber sports is what because there's also there's the lumberjack games, which is an annual event in Wisconsin.
Yes,
but then there's also a whole series of competitions called the Steel Timber Sports Series.
Yes, I think I did mostly into the steel.
That's most of the competition.
Yes, because that's where there's multiple world events and it kind of travels around.
They had I wrote it down. They had something like 93 events last year.
Jeez.
As where the lumberjack games are just one event in Wisconsin that predates the Steel Timber Sports Series.
65 years of the lumberjack games in Wisconsin.
Yes, since 1960. Yeah.
And it's going to be I believe 40 years since the Steel Timber Sports began.
Yeah, and most of the events that they do are the same, and it is actually really fun to watch.
Oh, it's so good.
It's for the most part, most events are sawing or chopping.
Yeah.
Sawing could mean a handsaw or a chainsaw. They also they have an event called hot saw.
Well, there's two different chainsaws you can use. There's
really?
The stock and the hot.
Oh,
should we go? Should we read through the events?
Yeah, I didn't get all of them, but go ahead. Read some of the timber sports events.
I've got the events down through. First is the stock saw. That is a standard chainsaw where you need 2 slices of a disc. So they have logs and they have a line. It's 10 centimeters in, and you have to do 2 solid slices of it within that 10 centimeters.
Okay.
So that's the bwamp, bwamp. That's the first one, and then there's single buck, which is like the handsaw.
One handsaw, one person.
The rule I saw, you are allowed to have a partner lubricate your saw.
That's more of like a pit situation, though.
This wasn't a pit. It was while they were chopping.
Oh, that's what that was.
There's a little guy with a little bottle.
There's a guy
lubricant.
like leaning over the log.
Yeah, there's a little gross pervert who you get to have as your teammate,
which we would never allow on this show.
I think we should have one guy hanging out in the corner.
You know, it is fitting that we do a timber sports episode of this show because we do have a lot of wood on this show.
We do.
It's a lot of hard wood.
It's not. I'm on a lot of antidepressants.
Oh, is that true? No boners for you?
What do you mean boners? We're talking about wood.
If you guys haven't caught on to this, by the way, Tyler's family listens to this podcast. Mine doesn't. So that's why I'm always going gross, and Tyler always is deflecting. Like, he won't say what he has and hasn't put in his ass. I will tell you.
I like to keep that a mystery. It's Schrodinger's colon.
Colon? Jesus. Anus. Hey, you don't go. Actually, maybe you do get into the colon.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I gotta refresh my ass anatomy. But I'll tell you everything I've put in my ass.
There's just a hard cut, and we come back and we're both sweating. Just drenched in sweat.
We're sitting on cushions.
We each have those circular hemorrhoid pillows.
Oh, God. That's a myth, by the way. After you get fucked in the ass, you don't need to sit on a cushion.
I thought you were going to say that the hemorrhoid pillow exists.
No, that's real. I have one of those, but it's not for butt stuff. It's for hemorrhoids.
We have matching branded. That should be our first merch.
A hemorrhoid pillow?
A hemorrhoid pillow.
We should just sell bottles of Hustle Milk, and you get a free hemorrhoid pillow.
Every bottle comes in the center of one. It's a combo pack.
Dude, that's so good. I'm going to look into that. If we can put our logo on a hemorrhoid pillow.
If we could get our faces on a hemorrhoid pillow. Our smiling faces.
One on each cheek.
One on each cheek.
Nobody else sells hemorrhoid pillows. That's incredible.
No, that's the thing. We're gonna do it. We're gonna sell $1 cheaper than the leading brand, so our brand is gonna be the large.
Every doctor is going to be recommending.
We're gonna be the only HSA qualified.
Bantam Boys. It would be fun if you could buy our merch with an HSA.
That would be amazing.
That's interesting.
If all of our merch was HSA certified. Medicinal hustle milk.
Oh, God.
It's great if you've got clotting,
If you got
blockage in any part of your body.
Yeah, it is a diuretic, so it
oh,
might
yeah.
actually be good for something.
It's a diuretic and a stool hardener. It does both.
They don't sell a lot of stool hardener. I noticed that.
They don't sell. It's an open market.
They go in one direction
They go in one.
with the stool modification products. They only want to soften. What if I need to harden?
Yeah. What if I want to change its texture up?
Oh my God! All right.
What if
All right.
What if I want it real fuzzy?
I'm pulling us back to Timbersports. So, but the single buck saw, even if you have a partner helping lubing it up, it's distinct from the double buck where you actually have a person on each end of the saw.
Right.
That's that 2-person saw like from the cartoons.
Yeah.
Yes, and that they do a men's, a women's, and a Jack and Jill event.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
I think every sport that has both genders playing should call it Jack and Jill events.
It's not unheard of. Billiards has Jack and Jill tournaments.
Ooh, okay.
But mixed doubles tennis does not call it Jack and Jill.
Yeah, it should be Jack and Jill tennis.
Yeah. Well, with all this same-sex marriage getting legalized, pretty soon it'll be Jack and Jack.
We should call it Jack and Jill marriage.
Hetero marriage, called it Jack and Jill marriage. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's true. Make the straight people into the weirdos. I like this.
Yeah, are you gay? No, I'm Jack and Jill. I'm Jack and Jill. Attorneys at law.
Okay.
So
what are the other events? Read us some of the other events.
We got the underhand. Did we talk about underhand?
No, I didn't see that. The
underhand
saw or underhand chop?
Chop.
Yes, okay, I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, underhand chop. You're standing, you have the log, and it's kind of in the middle, and you just have an axe, and you're going between your legs. Chopping down.
You're chopping down, but
Chopping down. You're standing on the log and chopping the center.
But the log, you're standing on the log.
Standing on the
underneath
log.
you.
You're above it.
Okay.
And you're chopping below.
Okay.
The information I saw said specifically to avoid hitting your feet with the axe.
Oh God, you got to wear steel toes for sure.
Now I think open-toed shoes.
Okay, that's different than the standing block chop.
Yes, standing block is like the center log. You chop on one side and then you switch to the other side because it's faster to chop through if you hit both sides.
Yeah. One of the most interesting events that I saw, I think it was called the springboard chop.
Yeah.
It's when you have to chop up high. And this is based on what real loggers have to do.
Yeah.
So you chop a thing into the lower part of the tree. You stick a board into that, stand on that board.
Oh, yeah.
Chop a notch up higher, stick a board into that, and you use that to climb the tree until eventually you're standing on a board way up in the air and chopping at the tree.
Yeah, you're building like not quite a staircase or a ladder, just like steps, little ledges.
Yeah.
And it's insane to watch because there's nothing else supporting it. It's just one side into the log.
Yeah.
And
It looks pretty frightening. Yeah.
They're going fast.
They're going fast and they're going high.
Yeah.
Like if you fall off, that's got to be a common cause of injury. I didn't read about lumberjacking injuries, but
I haven't looked too much into it, but I can guess the main injuries are chop related,
or saw related,
or fall related,
yeah,
or heartbreak.
Well, every athlete has to deal with heartbreak.
No, that's in the 2-person saw thing when you start arguing with your other partner.
Oh, and in the Jack and Jill event, you get divorced.
You get divorced.
Yeah.
Whoever. In order to figure out who gets what in the divorce, they have a log that you chop, and whichever side you get, that's how they divide your assets.
I bet there's a lumberjack couple. I mean, the whole idea of a lumberjack couple
I do
is
bet there's a
hilarious.
lumberjack couple
who went through a divorce, and I bet there was an axe involved in the divorce proceedings.
They have an axe to grind.
Nice, dude. I actually really like that.
Thank you. I appreciate the support.
Yeah. I like dumb shit like that.
That's what this podcast is all
I
about.
like fucking lame, corny shit like that.
Yeah. They had an axe to grind, and they ground it.
Yeah.
And that's how they won the World Juniors.
But then, you know what? They had a kid together, so you know what they did afterwards?
Yeah.
After the divorce was
What did they do?
finalized? They buried the hatchet.
They buried the hatchet.
Yeah.
Does the hatchet mean child?
Yes,
They
Hatchet
buried their
Hatchet was the name of their kid, which I bet there's a lumberjack couple who named their kid Hatchet.
Oh, yeah.
Although I did look at some of the names, they weren't as white trash as I was hoping.
No, a lot of New Zealanders and Australians.
Yeah, so it's mostly popular in North America, Europe, and what I'm calling British Oceania, New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah, it's general Australia, and then
Yeah.
just throw New Zealand.
Throw
in
New
there.
Zealand in.
I do not. No, I can't. I feel like I'll get into some hot water if I say I don't recognize New Zealand's independence
New
from
Zealand is
Australia.
separate. I mean, they have a different accent.
They do.
And
They
it's-
were originally all one nation colony.
Really?
Yeah, and then they split up because it was the early 1900s, and they were like a 3-day boat ride away. They're like, we can't be the same country.
Yeah, that's too much. 3 days. I can't, dude. If you live 3 days away from me, I'm not even your friend.
Yeah, I know, and that sometimes happens when the bus is down.
That's true. That's true. If the MTA is having an outage, I call Tyler up and I'm like, hey, we're not friends anymore until these trains start running again.
Yeah, it's always a brutal wake up call. You do it at 5 a.m.
Well, that's when I'm getting my coffee, my Hustle Milk.
That's when you get in your hustle milk.
Show still brought to you by Hustle Milk, by the way. If you didn't watch the last episode on synchronized swimming, we crafted finally our signature beverage, Hustle Milk, and it was pretty good.
Hustle milk. Confuse your bodega guy. If it's 4 a.m. and you get a hustle milk setup, and you're like, don't. The 5-hour energy, and you drop it in like it's a those margaritas where you have the tiny Coronita
or an
inside
Irish
of it?
car bomb.
An Irish car bomb, but with the hustle milk right in
What would
there.
be funny is if you're buying your Yoo-Hoo and your 5-hour energy, and then you ask the guy for a cup.
Just one big cup
It's like, hey, can I just get an empty cup and like a spoon?
and a spoon. No, you gotta shake it. It
Or
has
a
to be
stick.
shaken, not stirred.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. We've only had it shaken, and I assume it's worse stirred.
The way, yeah, it's got to be chilled for
It's
sure.
gotta be chilled.
It's
You
gotta be
gotta-
chilled.
Oh man, ice cold.
We should try it over ice next time. That'll be good.
Well, the ice gets incorporated in when you shake it.
That's true. It came out. It came out.
It came
showy.
out perfect. I don't think we can improve upon it.
Enough raving about Hustle Milk. Okay,
We are seeking angel investors,
we could rave all day about Hustle Milk. It did,
and we will because we are hopped up on it.
it did shock us how good it was. I will say.
It's gonna shock my doctor when he drains it out of me. He has to pump my stomach.
We definitely drank it thinking it would be a dumb, gross thing to do, and I am 100% gonna drink that again.
It's in the rotation.
It was fabulous.
It was so good.
It was better than those like chilled coffee drinks you get.
It was better than either a 5-hour energy or a Yoo-Hoo.
Definitely.
It was better. It's more than the sum of its parts.
Definitely. I do want to say one other thing. So all these events,
Yeah.
they compete in a sort of it's actually, you know what, did you catch, are they competing in like a head-to-head thing, or was it more a big group and whoever gets the best time?
So it seems like it depends on the event. A lot of times they'll pair them, like they do have the tournament style, but then they also have a style where it is all 8 people compete in the first heat, and then they eliminate the lowest couple, and then they compete in the different events. I saw that was a recent update to the World Series event, where they had the top 10, and then they would all compete. And then the bottom, I think they would do like the stock saw and single buck. And then the 2 people at the bottom would be eliminated. Then they go up, and then they would do 2 new events. They would get eliminated. And then the final events were the hot saw and the springboard. So only the top like 5 or 6 would do that one.
And can you tell me, because I didn't catch this, what's the difference between the stalk saw and the hot saw?
So the stock saw is like right out of Home Depot.
The classic chainsaw.
Just a straight. Everyone uses the same one. The hot saw. Oh, also the hot saw you can modify.
Oh yeah.
You can modify it, set it up, change the weight and everything. And with the stock saw, you start with the chainsaw on. Hot saw, you start with the chainsaw off, which seems backwards.
Well, because it's called hot.
Yeah.
Does it have to be cold or just off?
It's just off.
Okay.
So part of it is you have to turn
Yes,
it on.
I get that, because your modifications to it might make it hard. So the more power you put in, you might have to make a compromise with how hard it is to turn the engine over and get it going.
Yeah.
Because if you make So I see why they do it that way. But if you're allowed to warm it up beforehand, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because a warm engine is going to start up really easily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to warm it up or not. I just know it needs to start off.
There's probably a rule that says it has to be off for like 4 hours beforehand.
X amount of time.
Yeah.
You can cuddle with it to keep it warm with just your body heat. Just kind of spoon your chainsaw before the event so that
It's
it
been
stays
done.
warm.
It's
been done.
I'm sure these lumberjack guys spoon their chainsaw. So the hot saw looks like the stock saw.
Sort of. They look similar, but some of those hot saws are like giant. They don't look like a regular chainsaw.
Okay.
Like they still have all the parts, but they'll have like
They-
different
they-
exhausts,
they have the
and
same
counterbalances.
They have the same grip. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So there's a
Okay.
lot that you can do with it to change how it works.
That's very interesting.
It's a fun little thing because then it adds in a little like engineering.
Yeah, it's almost like a Formula One race.
Yeah,
where you have how good you are at driving, but then also how good your team is at building the car. Can I add, though, the Lumberjack Games in Wisconsin, which is separate from the Steel Timbersports series, has a few other events, which are hilarious.
Is that are we talking the log rolling?
Log rolling is so cool. I want to do this. Log rolling is you and an opponent both are standing on a log in the water.
Yeah.
And you have to knock your opponent off without touching them just by rolling the log under your feet.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh yeah, because then you see because they're both rolling the same log, so you can kind of like overpower them to get to.
Yeah, do you want to go in the same direction as them and speed it up, or do you want to counter them? And they're really good at it.
It's insane.
They
to
go
watch.
for a while.
Yeah, they're stuck on that slippery log for hours.
And you know what? If you like being on a slippery log for a long time, give Tyler a call.
Yeah, it's very slippery.
It's already. I'll while you guys are fucking, I'll be standing over there lubing it up. Like,
yeah, the partner with a little one of those long nozzled water bottles. That they use for hockey.
Yeah, just filled with coconut oil. Just,
both of us don't know you're there until the first squeeze.
Yeah, the girl's just like, is he always do this?
And I'm like, look, it's in the rules.
He's my coach.
He's my coach. It's not a coach, it's an assistant.
I prefer calling him coach.
Yeah, I'm sure you would prefer to be called coach. When I'm always like, lackey, come over here.
Yeah, well, I am the beta male, so I do
my lackey, my
I do occasionally have to hold the lube.
That's at the end of movies you see the credits come by and you see grip.
Yeah, I'm the key grip. Okay?
The key grip.
I'm the best boy.
The best boy. That's a different position, of course.
Isn't the best boy on the grip? Is he a gaffer? He's the head gaffer.
Film is those credits are the best when all the weird old Hollywood terms come up. It's like, we got 90 grips, 3 best boys.
Do you have multiple best boys?
I think you have one best boy, and then you have sub best boys. You have some backup best boys.
So they should be called better boys.
Better boys.
And you don't
Good, better,
actually,
best
by the
boys.
way, for listeners at home, you don't actually have to be a boy to get the best boy credit.
No, it's a legitimate position where you are the best boy.
I think you're the head. I think you're the lead gaffer.
Yeah,
as the best boy.
Yeah.
Which means
like
you
that.
set up lighting equipment.
Like the best boy does.
You're the best.
Yeah, that's where the name of that store came from.
The other 2 events that are in the Lumberjack Games that are not in the Timbersports series are climbing. They climb basically a a telephone pole. Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's a better description. They climb it, and they have ropes and stuff that they use to climb it really, really fast.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. And then something called the boom run. Again, awesome. This thing is awesome. There's a bunch of logs in the water. They're all connected by rope, so they're afloat in series, and you've got to run across these logs and run back. Amazing.
Oh yeah, it's like a Mario Party level.
That's exactly.
It's real life Mario Party.
Yeah, and it's so fun. I think those events are as fun as the Timbersports series.
They might be more fun because the Timbersports series, it's still fun to watch, but there's not as much whimsy to it. There's more whimsy in the Wisconsin one.
You're right.
Where it's like this isn't an action like the Timbersports. These are all skills that you need to be a great lumberjack. The Wisconsin one, I don't think sprinting across logs is what you're doing right now.
Excuse me. You said lumberjack. I think you meant logger. There's a difference here.
Dude, logger?
Would you like to get into this?
Dude, I barely know her.
Can I get into my hero of the game?
Is this your the difference between logger and lumber?
He gets into it, yeah.
Okay.
I met this guy. I didn't meet him. I read about this guy called Adrian Flygt, I think is how you spell it. Flygt. He's 6'4", 260. Looks like a real life lumberjack.
Yeah.
Because he is a real life lumberjack.
Oh yeah.
He's not that good. He never got that good, but he had an interesting article where I got some fun quotes from him. In the article, first of all, he complains about what he calls...
Oh, no. Oh,
no. You're going to like it. Lumbersexuals. That's what he calls them. The Lumbersexuals.
I have heard this term before.
You have?
Of course. Maybe not of course, but I have heard this term
I've never
before.
heard it.
Oh, it's great.
It's people who... It's actually not making fun of actual gay people. It's from an early 2000s term, metrosexual, which was someone who dressed or gave an affectation of being queer even though they were a straight guy. Lumbersexuals are people who dress with an affectation of being woodsmen even though they're really not handy at all. They don't know how to handle an axe or a saw or anything.
Yeah.
Is that what you thought lumbersexual meant?
Yeah. It's a sort of aesthetic, like you're a lumberjack.
Yeah, it's like you live in Portland, Maine, and you're a city kid, but you kind of dress like a lumberjack, even though you don't actually go to the woods.
It's anyone at a upscale coffee shop wearing Carhartt.
Yes, exactly. So we complained about lumbersexuals. I didn't know you knew that term. That was new to me. At first, I thought it meant that somebody liked to fuck lumberjacks.
I thought you were gonna say the logs. He hates when people come into the events and they're getting dirty with the log.
Let's keep it clean, okay? We're talking about logs here. We can't make any shit jokes or shoving in ass jokes.
We already did.
Yeah, you're right. What am I talking about?
What are you talking?
You're right.
What are you chastising me? You're like, oh man, you can stick it right in Tyler's butt. We're not talking about that, okay?
No, you're right. I would take.
It's a vicious double
I
standard.
don't know what I was thinking. I'm gonna take the handle of the axe, shove that in my ass, take some of the logs from the log rolling. I'm gonna roll that log right in my ass. It's all going in my ass. You're totally right.
You're putting the handle in there and you're twerking to chop the wood. It's a new competition.
I'm not gonna twerk, but I might do a little
shimmy.
Yeah, I might do.
You're not gonna chop it up and down.
We'll call it the butt chop.
The butt chop.
Yeah.
We already have our new addition to the game. Is the butt
that's
chop.
true. That's our very. You know what? How about this time? I do all my segments, and then you do all the segments. We'll see how that works.
We do. You just load them up back to back.
But one of the things that Adrian said before we move on to your hero of the game, who, by the way, Adrian, he's a high school physics teacher, and some interesting stuff about their training regimen. He says he works out about 3 to 4 days a week. His training regimen includes Olympic lifting, stone loading, so like strongman type training, and skipping rope. And then obviously doing the actual lumberjacking.
Yeah.
But he basically just makes a distinction between loggers are people who actually make their living chopping wood to like harvest trees, versus lumberjack is competitive sawing and chopping.
Not gonna lie, a lot of this sounds like something a guy who joined the lumberjack games and got made fun of for being a high school teacher.
Maybe
by all the people who are there because they were lumberjacks full time.
I would not I would not make fun of this guy.
Oh no, I'm
6'4",
not.
260. I think he gets his fair share of respect at the lumberjack.
Oh yeah,
games.
no, this is just in the abstract. This is not actually. I'm not like, oh, this guy. He's not a real lumberjack, unlike me.
Me and Tyler are lumbersexuals.
Yeah, we chop down so many trees in our nice Brooklyn neighborhoods.
Yep. And what do I do when I chop the tree down?
You put it right back up.
Shove it up my ass. That's right.
The people are horrified to see you dragging a full tree, a birch, into the subway because they know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You go by his apartment and you just see like a tree sticking out of the window and it slowly recedes bit by bit into the apartment.
It's shaking a little.
Shaking.
It's kind of shimmying in, you know what I'm saying. And the next day I'm walking around stiff-legged. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and then the next day you are 20 feet up in the air.
I'm a pogo stick.
You're a pogo stick. Yeah. You're bouncing down the street.
You know, I thought last episode would be our grossest because that's what we drank the awesome milk. This is so far our grossest episode. It's been almost entirely ass stuff. We talk about lumberjacking for about 20 seconds and then we go talk about ass for 2 minutes.
Hey, you know what? It's part of the sport. It's part of the culture. It's part of life. It's what you got to learn.
It's my favorite part of life.
Right up in there.
Just shoving stuff in my ass. You got a player profile, a hero of the game?
I don't want to do it now. I don't want to keep giving. Why do I always have to give my profiles right after we talk about just absolutely making good use of the space inside of us? Just maxing, just storage maxing. Yeah, you shouldn't treat your body like a storage center.
Maybe you shouldn't. I'll do
whatever I want. It's got the little garage door shutter.
Are you going to use that Yoo-Hoo bottle, by the way?
You know what? It's yours.
All right.
It's one of those Costco sized 20-gallon Yoo-Hoo bottles just off screen. So mine was 9-time champion Jason Winard.
Okay.
The first non-American champion of the Timbersports.
I love it. What country?
New Zealand. Is a New Zealander?
Jason Winard. Did I do it right?
No, that was.
How would you do it? Do it in New Zealand accent.
I gotta get there first. You gotta do some chips, bro. Oh, I'm Jason Winard.
Okay, I'm gonna do it as Brad Pitt. Now, Jason Winard, he's gonna be coming to the Timbersports series.
Yeah.
When Jason Winard gets here, we all need to be cool.
Can I also do it as Brad Pitt?
All right. Yeah.
Oh, Jason Winard. He's gonna come here and chop up my wood.
Now do it as Nixon.
Oh, Jason Winard. He's a coming to chop. And when I say chop, he's gonna sock it to me.
This man is a real American hero.
He's not. It's wrong immediately.
That's why W said it, because he's a goofy guy.
He's a goofy guy. He's a wild and crazy guy.
He's pretty goofy. You know, I think the War on Terror was a goofy old time.
It was a pretty big goof. It was one of America's top 10 foreign policy goofs and gaffes.
Do you think it cracks the top 10?
I think it cracks the top 10.
Let me think.
Yeah.
Foreign policy specifically?
Yes.
All right.
This is a fun event to go through, isn't it? What are your favorite goofs and gaffes? My number one was when they decided to host the treaty signing to end the Yugoslavian Civil War, and they picked Dayton, Ohio. So it's the Dayton Accords.
Is that true?
It's true.
That's actually pretty sick. Dude.
Oh, yeah. Dayton, Ohio. Got it.
Do they have a Dayton Accords museum in Dayton?
I hope so.
I would go there. Yeah, I'm not going to get into this because the first ones I came up with were way too sad.
Yeah, they're all very sad. They're foreign policy goofs and gaffes.
Yeah. And there's more than 10 of them, but they're very sad. So let's learn more about Jason Winard instead.
I don't have too much else. He unfortunately recently passed away at a very young age, 43. Honestly, I went on the website and they just had the what's it called? The tribute video where it was all the major people. He was a very good teacher and like didn't hide any of his like secrets or anything and would just help coach people up. His son's currently a basketball player
in New Zealand.
I believe he's playing for Kentucky.
That's serious. That's serious.
Yeah, or one of the universities.
That means he's trying to get into the NBA. He's playing for Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean he's an amazing athlete. His dad was an amazing athlete.
What?
He's a New Zealander.
Yeah, but is he white?
I don't.
You didn't see a photo of him?
I saw a photo, but I
was it black and white? How do you not know his race?
I didn't. He's moderately ambiguous. I didn't like stare at him and be like, I didn't get the calipers out.
Calipers? You didn't put the calipers up to his nose?
Yeah, I didn't get my phrenology kit and decide to go for it.
Well,
I saw him and I'm like, oh, this is a cool dude. I wasn't like,
Well, if somebody's playing basketball, I need to know their racial background.
You definitely don't.
It's really important.
It's not important at all.
Really important, especially in basketball.
It's not.
If you're playing soccer, any race can be good at soccer. But basketball, there's a pecking order, and I need to know.
I don't like where this is heading. You're so adamant. You're like, I gotta know. I gotta figure it out. What are you gonna do with this information once you figure it out?
Well,
are you gonna call the coach and be like, I don't know if you know?
It's just a matter of how impressive it is. If he's like a white New Zealander, it's more impressive that he plays for Kentucky.
All right, it's college basketball. There's a lot of people who play college.
Yeah, they have a lot of white people who play college.
Yeah,
there's a few who make the NBA.
Yeah, plenty. Some good ones.
There's some good ones.
Yeah.
Jonas Jerebko.
Totally. Oh, yeah. That's the first one I think of.
I love Jonas Jerebko.
Jed Buechler.
If you're not familiar, listener, Jonas Jerebko was a role player on the Celtics for a few years. He's the greatest Swedish basketball player of all time. He was like 7th or 8th off on the depth chart of the Celtics when they made. I don't think they won the championship with him, but they made a deep playoff run.
Was this Big Three era?
No, this was more recent. This was early Brown Tatum era. This is when Brad Stevens was coaching.
Okay.
I think. I might be wrong. This might be. It might also be that like weird era where Pierce and Garnett were still around, but Ray Allen was gone.
Do you think it's possible you dreamed of this character?
No, because I used to have a gag with my brother where I would talk about Jonas Jerebko as the greatest basketball player of all time. I'd be like, all right, top 5 greatest all time. It's Kareem, Jordan, Jerebko, Kobe, Shaq. That would be my top 5.
I like how you put him right in the center. You're not giving him number 1.
Yeah, well, Jareb God is what we used to call him. But
I'm beginning to feel like a Jareb God. My favorite Eminem song.
Anyways, that's why I think he's a funny rep. But in Sweden, they have his photo up in like the airport, or at least they did when he was active.
Yeah,
and he was 8th off the bench for the Celtics. But he did have one really, really good playoff game, and he did get booed by the opposing fans the next game. They were like heckling him specifically because he played a key in the previous victory, which I was really proud of Jerebko for that. I was like, you go, buddy.
Yeah, if you do well enough to annoy the other team, you're doing something right.
Yeah, no, he had a great game.
Yeah. So what was he a good lumberjack, would you say?
Well, he's Swedish, so yes.
So yes.
Yeah, they're pretty outdoorsy, I feel, over there.
Yeah, they've chopped a tree or two. You gotta when it's that cold.
Yeah, you gotta burn some timber.
The only way to do it is to clamber up to the top of the tree, That's where the best firewood is.
Yes, you've got to use the springboard chop.
Springboard chop, which I think you should also use commuting. I don't use the stairs anymore since I saw this. I just chop into the drywall of my apartment, and I start using springboards to get my way up.
I like how you call entering your home commuting.
Commuting.
That's interesting.
I work from home, so I am commuting. I commute from my bedroom, and I only use springboards. I'm not going vertically. I'm just chopping the same level.
Well, the floor is lava.
The floor is lava.
Springboard chop.
That's why my apartment is so affordable.
Okay, that's my variant of the game.
I have an apartment whose rent control is based on you not touching the floor. As long as you don't touch the floor, your rent stays at $1,200 a month. You touch that floor, $5,000.
All of a sudden, you're bankrupt. Yeah, but no, that's gonna be my variant. Because earlier we said the obvious variant, which is you stick the handle of the axe up your ass and then chop like that.
Yeah.
That's a new event. I'm adding a new event called the floor is lava chop, where instead of going up with the springboard, you gotta like traverse an area with springboard from log to log to log. So you're standing in the springboard is in the first log, and you're standing on that, and you're chopping the next log over, and you got to shove a springboard into that and then make your way over, and you've got to traverse. So, you know, in rock climbing, there's like the rock climbing up, and then there's also the traverse wall.
Yeah.
This is the same concept. Instead of going up, you traverse, and then at the end, you've got to do a horizontal chop. That's my variant. What's your new event you're going to do?
My new event, barehanded.
Barehanded chopping.
You're just Minecraft style going in there, punching the logs.
The karate chop.
The karate chop, or the chopped cheese, where you have to cook. You have to cook a delicious meal with your axe as your only implement.
That would be interesting.
You have to chop down the tree to get the heat.
Yeah.
Oh.
What about the fire chop?
Chop?
So it's not just the competition is not just how fast can you chop down a tree. It's you have like a log and some flint and some leaves, and it's how fast can you get a fire started.
How about the chopped chop, where you have all the contestants from the cooking game show chopped, and you have to chop your way through them.
Dude, we should remake Chopped as a lumberjacking reality show.
Ooh, we should have one chef and one lumberjack, and they flip a coin to decide which event they do.
What about this? We combine Chopped with the Ultimate Fighter, call it the Ultimate Chopped Lumberjacker.
Yeah. Yeah, the ultimate chopped lumberjacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really rolls off the tongue.
And then it's like a sports reality show where some of the people from the show later become real athletes, real competitive athletes.
What if they do it and it's just really cold out and they don't have any winter gear, so they have to make a fire before they freeze to death.
Oh, so now it's a survival, the ultimate survival chopped lumberjacker. What about this? What about
the ultimate chopped surfside?
This is
lumber games.
I'm warning you in advance, Tyler. You're gonna hate this.
Oh no!
But
yeah,
it's part of the the lumberjacking, the wood chopping competition, but it's a circumcision race.
Why would I hate that? That's a great time. Now remember, there is a 10-centimeter line that you have to chop within.
10 centimeters, and
you have to make 2 rings. You have to do the springboard up.
Yeah. You put a springboard in a guy's cock. We got to get Jonas Jerebko here for this.
Oh, man, yes. Because he's got the length.
He's the only one with a cock big enough. What's your strategy? How are you going to win?
Oh, I'm...
and you can pick any event.
Any event? Ooh.
We got distracted for the listener. I accidentally elbowed an object in the room, a PS2 controller, I believe, and we both got distracted by it, and that was why there was that dead air.
So now, sorry, I'm pretending that we're cutting all that.
Oh,
no.
we want to cut?
No, we don't want to.
All right, we're cutting. We're cutting. All right, sounds. All right, now go.
Oh, it's me, Brad Pitt.
Oh, I thought you were coming. Holy shit! I thought those were.
You thought it was just happening. The hustle milk is having an effect on my body that I can't explain.
I didn't think it was real cum. I thought.
Okay.
I thought you were doing a bit where you were fake coming. I'm like, this is a weird segue. That's what it sounded like.
That's what it sounds like for you.
I'm not getting it. I don't want to make the noise.
I don't want to. I could, but I.
Well, my wife's from Alabama, so when I come, I go, roll tide.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
She does. She goes, roll tide, roll.
Roll tide, roll.
Yeah, and then we take a shower.
You take a shower. Nah, you don't want to take a shower after. You just stay.
Well, we do water sports.
Ah. Well, then you've already showered. There's a disconnect here. I forgot that you installed that drain in your bedroom.
What is it? Plastic sheets? Is that what people like?
I don't know what they like.
I think they wrap their beds in plastic or something.
Wrap their beds.
I don't know. The only time I've been exposed to it, it was done in the bathtub.
They build an elaborate irrigation system.
You could say that.
Gutters. It just goes to the outside of the apartment.
What's your strategy?
Oh, man. My strategy is... So the other lumberjack's getting ready to do the under chop. And right when he's about to go, I just do a little tickle.
You going to tickle him again?
Every strategy is just a little... doodle, and that axe goes flying into the crowd.
Okay.
No, what am I going to do? I am... I'm gonna get a heavily weighted axe so that when I'm at the top, it looks fine, and then I just let the gravity.
All momentum.
All momentum.
All momentum.
I'm getting tiny little rocket boosters on my axe, so it just.
You're gonna pioneer the hot axe.
The hot. Well, it's already the wet axe.
Is that one of the events?
No.
Okay.
It can be. You do wet the saw, so why can't you wet the axe?
Yeah, you have a lube guy.
Lube guy.
Well, that brings me into my strategy.
Yeah.
It's for the hot saw event. It's how I'm gonna modify the saw. It's gonna have nitrous.
Ooh.
It's gonna have a nuclear reactor.
A nuclear reactor.
Yep, and it's gonna have rocket propulsion.
Dude, and it's gonna have a big red stripe.
Yeah. You have a racing stripe.
I'm gonna put baseball card in the spokes. It's gonna have a little bell on the side in a basket so you can carry all your groceries home.
I'm gonna have the greatest hot saw of all time.
Have you ever had a good hot saw in the morning?
Nothing like it.
Nothing like
it.
So you'll only get that in Wisconsin.
The hot saw event?
No, just a good hot saw. In the morning.
Why don't they do more cheese related events if it's in Wisconsin?
I mean, they do, but that's a separate festival.
They have a cheese festival.
Yeah, it's in. This is a dumb tangent. I
want to hear about the cheese festival.
Well, this isn't even a cheese
then we'll break.
festival. It's a different. I used to have to research the cost of phone lines in different towns.
Right. When you had the best job ever.
Yeah, when I was also researching the highest buildings, but I'm looking up phone prices, and I have to look at like very small towns, and I discovered Hustler, Wisconsin, and their yearly annual Hustler Fest.
And how has this not come up yet?
It's coming up right now. The Hustler Fest. We got to go. They have chicken. They have two different chicken throwing events. One rubber, the other live.
I love that they still have the rubber. I feel like if you have the live chicken throwing, that could be it.
I haven't been able to figure out which one came first. Were they throwing rubber chickens, and then someone was like, "What if we used live ones?" Or were they like, "We shouldn't. We were throwing live chickens. We're like, this would be better if it was just rubber." And then they're like, "Oh, we should just still do the live chicken."
It's not as bad as dog fighting.
No, but it is worse than dog throwing.
Is it? Chickens can fly a little bit, you know.
You ever see that? There's a movie starring Hulk Hogan where he's driving a motorcycle during the opening credits, and in the background there's just a guy throwing a dog into the river.
Oh my god!
It's like a small river. Like the dog is gonna swims back, but it's just
He's training the dog.
I don't know if it's training. It's not part of the movie. It just happens in real life.
Oh.
He's just driving down the road, and in the background, some guy's tossing a dog into the river.
I didn't know Hulk Hogan starred in movies. This is
Of course
crazy.
he starred in movies.
I thought he just starred in sex tapes.
No. First of all, sex films.
No, that was a tape.
Yeah, but it was on film.
It was the 90s.
It was on IMAX. You haven't seen the Hulk Hogan sex tape at the Sphere in Vegas?
Dude, what if you're watching pornographic footage all around you, you call it climax? How about that?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Roll Tide. So what else is going on at the Hustler Festival?
Oh, dude, just
Is it cheese based?
I mean, there's a lot of cheese. There's a lot of cheese eating, cheese making competitions, cheese carving competitions.
Yeah, I think I've said this before. A lot of states, what's stereotypical about them is just a joke. Like, people who are actually from there aren't into it. People from Wisconsin do love cheese.
Yeah, they make the best cheese.
And they're really proud of that when they go to other places.
Why wouldn't you be proud of that?
Well, some people we're from. I speak for myself. I grew up in Boston.
Yeah.
I don't eat baked beans, or I guess I'm okay cooking seafood, but I'm not.
You crush some Dunkin' Donuts though?
It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, but it works.
Jeez, you've been away for too long.
No, even when I lived there it was.
It's the only iced coffee that tastes as good as it throws.
I don't drink iced coffee.
Then you're not really from Boston, unless it's 12 degrees below zero. You're drinking you can only drink the extra large.
I drink hot coffee in the summer because
Mm.
I'm from the Middle East, but we're not going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about iced coffee from Boston. The only coffee that's also self-defense is Dunkin' Donuts.
Who's throwing iced coffees?
Anyone who's mad at you in traffic.
It's happened. Well, what would be your Timbersports team name?
My Timbersports team name, the afraid of advancements in machine technology. They're all worried about being replaced.
It is a pretty replaceable job.
What is your team name?
I'm going to skip past all the wood jokes, all the erection humor, and I'm just going to straight up call ourselves the Hard Cocks.
The Hard Cocks?
We're going to be the Boston Hard Cocks, and we're going to come in and we're going to fuck the competition.
You're going to be a Boston-based lumberjacking team?
New England.
Okay,
The New England Hard Cocks.
I was going to say, we're from all those big logging industries that we've got.
You're right. Maybe I should be like the Bangor, Maine.
Bangor, Maine.
Hard Cocks. Yeah, that'll be good.
We're going to be a team from Bangor.
Oh, what about Lobster Cocks? That'll be good.
So we're from Bangor. We're going to be called the Fingers. The Finger Bangor.
The Bangor Fingers? The Finger Bangers? I believe it's pronounced Bangor.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. The way I've been using it.
All right, well, that concludes our episode. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribe. I'm Uri Shatil at the.uri.show.
I'm Tyler Derniak at Tyler_Derniak_comedy. Keep on chopping. Keep on chopping in the free world.